One thing I find quite interesting about you, slightly different, you and your plans for equity, rather than having so much of a focus on exclusive listings, exclusive sellers, exclusive landlords, you're more focused on exclusive buyers.
Exclusive clients.
Exclusive clients. Okay.
Most of our buyers generally sell exclusively with us as well.
So can you talk to us about that process? How do you go about locking in exclusive clients?
I don't think this is like a pitch or anything you can teach. This is a bit of a long game. There's obviously a lot of high net worth individuals here, and the kind of corporate direction where a lot of the companies are going because they want to have more staff, more agents, is definitely, from my opinion, is not the way to approach these kind of clients, where we have a lot of in this country, where when they're on a database, they have 10 agents calling them from the same company every week. Nobody wants to be bothered like that. If I had a client like that and I put it on a database and my company was calling that client, they wouldn't want to work with me anymore. So people want to feel special. Having the trust is obviously the most important thing. This happens over time, making their money on their investments, proving yourself from that aspect. I think the way you go about it, once you can crack one or two and you're kind of spending their money like it's your own, to be honest, being careful with it, there's always a risk in real estate investment, but making calculated risks and lowering the risks is very important. And I think everything here is on referrals, no? I mean, once you do that with one or two, then the word kind of spreads.
But that's how to get repeat business or, to grow your network.
Yeah.
But you're locking them in as exclusive clients.
Yes.
I'm assuming they're signing something. They're signing that they're only going to search with you. They're only going to transact through you. How do you convince them to do that?
So again, this would start on first the networking, building the relationship, what the basics, what everyone would do.
You can't go in immediately and be like, you have to work exclusively.
Because it's very cliche. Everyone's going in, oh, we're the best because of X, Y, Z, and everyone's got their own story and own script. But you've actually got to prove yourself. This takes time. For me to lock my first exclusive client in, maybe took me 3 years after being in the game.
So, and then it's kind of like, is it a kind of conversation like, look, I'm only going to work with you if you're only working with me?
At the moment, yes. Once you've got a bit of a name for yourself and you've proved yourself, and then you can say, I'm not going to work with you unless you're only going to work with us. Because you've got a lot of inexperience in the market as well. You give the correct information, another agent doesn't give the correct information, then the client's a bit like, they don't know who to believe, and a lot of the time there's a lot of money at stake. So everyone always kind of second questions. But like I said, once you've got that trust and you've built that relationship, most of my clients are like my family friends now, we see each other outside of business. But again, this comes down to the culture over here. That's how the business is done in this part of the world. So that's why I don't believe in the corporate side of real estate in Dubai or in the Middle East. I think obviously you'd cover a lot of business, but certain clientele, they want to be treated special.
So you believe more in the boutique-y type of brokerage rather than...
I think there's a bit of a sweet spot between both. I think you've got to have an arm that does both. You can't just do one or the other. Well, I suppose you could, but if you wanted to take it to a certain level, you're not going to get the great deals or what people call the distress deals unless you have a certain amount of agents picking up stock. So it's a bit of middle ground in between the both that I think we can hit.
Okay. And then going back to signing someone up exclusively with you, exclusive clients, do you get them to actually sign?
We have some signed up exclusive, but I have clients that I've never ever signed any kind of exclusivity with me.
It's just
it's just a bond. And again, if I was to put a piece of paper in front of them, then I don't know the reaction I'd get. But again, comes from experience. You need to understand how business runs over here. It's definitely not as corporate as anywhere else in the world. I've negotiated 100 million dirham deals like we're negotiating buying something in a bazaar. That's just how it is, and that's what you've got to kind of adjust yourself